Hi guys, it's Paula and I hope you are doing well. This is going to be an exciting update for A Court of Pans and Empties Book 1 and an introduction to A Court of Pans and Empties Book 2. It's finally coming back. I know I've been hemming and hawing about it. I wanted to see this project through so badly for a new project for every book, but of course I am a train wreck and being organized is not really my thing. So of course we are a couple days late to this introduction. It should have gone up on October 1st, and I apologize, but I'm running late on everything in life, and I'm just happy to be filming this update now. And then, of course, the finale for Book 1 could have gone up on September 6th. However, I've decided to keep going with Book 1 and just roll it into Book 2, and it's Book 1 and Book 2. We're just doing, I can't stop. I still have prompts I haven't done yet. I still have products I haven't finished yet. So it's now going to be Acopae Book 1 and Book 2. In the information for this project, for Book 2, I did leave it open to all of you guys who are interested in this project. You can end Book 1 on September 6th, or you could roll Book 1 into Book 2 like I'm doing. I'm a slow panner and I can't quit it. This project was created by me, and it is a Fantastic Ladies project. The Fantastic Ladies are a Facebook group that I will leave linked down below if you're interested in joining, if you haven't already joined. But basically, it is a group on Facebook that is all about project panning, and project panning is what we do. Project panning is a verb. I don't know if you've heard of this verb. Most of you probably have. But basically, what we are trying to do is we are trying to use up our stuff, because we have a lot of stuff. We have more stuff than we're comfortable with. Everybody's got a different amount of stuff, but whatever it is, it's too much for us personally. So we're trying to use up our stuff in a fun way, which is project panning. And I've been addicted to project panning for many years. I think I got into it around 2017. So it's been like 8 years strong, maybe 2016. It's been a while. I really, really, really like project panning. But back to Acopae. Acopae is a project pan based on the ACOTAR book series. ACOTAR stands for A Court of Thorns and Roses. If you know, you know. I've been obsessed with romanticises ever since reading these books a couple years ago, and so I wanted to create a project in honor of project panning and in honor of this book series that kicked off my obsession with reading once again. I loved reading before my kids were born, and then I stopped for like 10 years. And then ACOTAR happened, and I haven't been able to stop reading since, which is wonderful and time-consuming and a little bit inconvenient at times, but it's the truth. I cannot stop reading. When I'm awake and my eyes are open, all I want to do is read. Who can relate? I know I'm not the only one. And you know what? I wasn't aware of romanticises before my kids were born. Maybe I would have never gotten married and had kids if I would have known romanticises were a thing. I might have holed myself up in my house and never left if I knew romanticises were a thing. Thank goodness I got out a little bit, found a husband, had some kids, and then discovered romanticises, because my life could be very different if I would have done that in a different order. I just could sit at home and read all day long. All right, back to Acopae. Book 1 is the first part of the project. Book 2 is the second part of the project. I'm hoping that there will be a Book 3, a Book 4, and a Book 5. And hey, maybe by the time we get around to Book 5, there'll be a Book 6 out there that we can all read and binge out, because she's still writing this series. The series is still ongoing. So that would be really exciting. But right now, I'm trying to commit to the first 5 books. And so the prompts in each book are a reflection of things that happen in the ACOTAR series. The first book, the second book, the third book. Anyways, you could pick a product and relate it to the prompt, and you could set whatever goal you want on that product. It could be to finish it, it could be to use it 10 times, whatever works for you. So let's start with Book 1 and do a quick update. It won't be quick. I can tell you right now, this is gonna be like a 2-hour long video, but it won't be quick. But we could do a quick update for Book 1, and then we'll jump into Book 2, and I'll talk about Book 2. All right, so I think my directions were that for each book, you could choose up to 10 items to pan, and it's rolling, and the updates are supposed to be monthly, obviously. I don't follow that rule because I can't get updates up monthly to save my life these days. But I've been working on 7 items at a time, and I've been keeping it rolling. So when I meet a goal on an item, it rolls out and something new rolls in. I only met my goal on 3 items till this point today. So I've covered a total of 10 prompts in this project. I have met my goal on 1 new item today, and it's an item that I just rolled in at the last update whenever that was, a month and a half, 2 months ago, something like that. And that is for the Midden Guard worm. That is something that smells nice. I decided to roll in. I decided to roll in this Kayali sample. This is the scent, I think it's Deja Vu White Flower. Oh yes, Deja Vu White Flower. This is a lovely scent. There's a little bit left in there. I might have 1 more use, but for the sake of this update, I'm gonna go ahead and call this done. I was kind of whinging about the fact that there's product in the bottom of these little samples that I can't get to, and somebody left a comment that you can kind of crack these open, so I'm gonna try it. I'm very excited and a little bit scared. So thank you for leaving that comment. I'm gonna try, but yeah, I might have 1 more use before I can't get anything out of there, and then I'll try and break into there and see what I can get. But I'm gonna roll it out of this project for now and call it done because that's like 1 more use. Now let's go over the rollovers. The first item that's been in this project forever is for Romantasy. That is a product you are addicted to. Ironically, once I claim to be addicted to something, I stop using it. I don't know why I do that. That is this lip liner in Dirty Peach from Kylie Cosmetics. This is one of my all-time favorite lip liners. I just haven't been reaching for it this time around. I don't know why I do that. But I don't even think I can make a new progress line. I did wear this a couple of times since the last update. Sure, I can make a new progress line. It's gonna be a tiny line, but I'll make a new progress line. All right, so enjoy the tiniest progress line ever for Kylie's Dirty Peach. At least I can make a new line. I'll take it. I've used it a couple of times. I've been really into like those deep berry, almost vampy shades right now. And so I have a lip liner in a different project that I've been reaching for a lot over that. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. The next product is for the prompt Fae. That is a product that perfects your look or makes you feel beautiful. That is my ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in Ritz. Ritz is such a beautiful shade. It is a pretty like topper shadow. I don't really think of it as a standalone eyeshadow. It's really good for fixing my mistakes. Like if I do an eye look and I'm like, that didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, throw a little bit of ColourPop Ritz on top of it and I'm good to go. I did use this again a couple of times since the last update, but I don't feel like there's been any significant change as far as the pans expanding in size or anything like that. I don't even know if I'm targeting the areas that have pan. When I reach for this, I might even be targeting in the areas where there isn't pan yet, just to flatten it out a little bit more. But my ultimate goal is to use up this entire pan of product. So still working on that. That's gonna be a long hauler. It is a sparkly kind of fancy shadow. Sometimes it feels a little too fancy to wear, although I feel like all my looks are kind of dramatic and kind of fancy for an everyday thing. Most of my coworkers don't wear any makeup at all. And so I always feel a little bit fancy, but I don't know, this feels like extra fancy. The next prompt is for Feyre, the main heroine of the story, and that is a resurrection product. And for that, I'm very excited. It's not an empty, but I do have my Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip Plump. That's because this was in another project, so I wanted to resurrect it for this one. And look at this. Oh boy, we could finally see the end is in sight. One of the biggest troubles I've had with this product is that I couldn't tell my progress. And as a project planner, that's kind of frustrating when a product doesn't show your progress as you're trying to use it up, because that's what keeps us going. We need to see the progress. And with this tube being the way it was, I couldn't see the pump moving its way up. But right after the last update, I could tell that the pump was showing itself, and that's all we have left, guys. This is now living in my purse. I mean, it's been on my dining room table for a couple days because I've been trying to film this and haven't gotten around to it. But yeah, this has been living in my purse, so I tend to wear it once a day. Compared to where I keep the rest of my lippies in the bathroom, maybe they get used like once every couple days or once a week. So this is definitely getting more consistent attention than it was when it was not in my purse, and it's helped. I think this will be gone soon. I think it'll be gone by the next update. I cannot wait. I'm also kind of sad because I love this product. Luckily, I do have some more of these Tarte Juicy Lip Plumps, so I don't think I'm gonna feel the need to like run out and buy this, but I've really enjoyed working on this. This is such a good product. I love the smell of it. I love the way it feels. I love it so much. I don't love the fact that I can't see my progress as I'm panning it, but other than that, I love that product so much, and I'm excited and sad that it's almost gone. All right, the next prompt is for Tamlin. That is a product you changed your mind about. That product is this Prisma Libre. Oh, I hate trying to say this word. I'm looking forward to painting this so I don't have to say Prisma Libre again because I feel like I'm saying it wrong. But I once said Prisma Libra. I think I used to call it Prisma Libre, and somebody said no, that's not right. So I'm trying to say it right, but I think anybody who's trying to correct me on the proper way of saying these things has given up on me because I just can't get it right. Anyways, this is a powder from Givenchy, and it is a product that, you know, is kind of pricey. Givenchy is a luxury brand of makeup, and I received it complimentary for review. So I think I was kind of judging it as like, you know, too expensive for a powder. Like Maybelline has good powders and it's like $7. You don't need to buy, you know, this powder for whatever price it is, $40 or whatever. But you know what? It is a good powder. It's really good. I really like it. I've been using this both as an under eye setting powder and an all over face powder, and it is definitely getting there. I don't know if you could see how empty this is getting. Unfortunately, again, like it's hard to judge progress on this. Like some powders where I could get everything kind of collectively at the bottom and we could measure progress. This powder is divided into 4 quadrants because each powder is a slightly different color. And I don't know if I could still see all the different colors like I used to. I used to clearly be able to see like, oh, that's the pink powder, that's the greeny powder, that's the purpley powder, that's the peachy powder. But now they kind of all look skin colored, and I don't know if they've just been mixing up in here. I don't know why that is. But either way, it's hard to see progress, but I can definitely tell that there's less powder in there than there was before. And that's exciting. I'm enjoying this powder, but I have a lot of powders that I need to get to in my life and use up. So, and even though I did change my mind about this powder, I don't know if this is the best powder for me right now. I've just been so oily, and this powder is not getting me through the day. By about 3 p.m., I'm very oily, and I'd like to see if there's a powder that mattifies me for a little bit longer than this does, because whatever's going on with my body, I guess it's hormones, I'm just producing a lot more oils lately than I'm comfortable with. So I need to work on mattifying, and this does an okay job, but I don't know if it's the best. But I'm enjoying it. The next product is for Nesta. That's Farrah's sister, and that is a product with flames or the colors orange, red, or yellow. I, in my infinite wisdom, decided to put in this stupid sample of Urban Decay's Easy. This has been in more projects than any other product ever. It is so tiny and I cannot pan it. I am wearing it right now, but I still have so much more to go on this. I don't use this nearly as much as I should. And I want it gone so badly, but I don't reach for it. And every update I say, I'm gonna go for it I'm gonna get this done by the next update. I'm not even saying that. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to me. I would love to finish it. I'll use it when I can. I'm doing the best that I can, okay? All right, the next prompt is for Rhysand. I love Rhysand. Rhysand is the main male character of the Acopae series, and the prompt for him is a blue or purple product. He wore all black, he had purple eyes, and he was part of the Night Court, which was very like navy, deep blues. Those are the colors I get when I think of Rhysand. So I ended up going with a navy eyeliner. This just rolled in at the last update. This is from Tarte. I love these Tarte eyeliners. I received them as a set of like 20 eyeliners as a gift for Christmas years ago. And these are still amazing quality eyeliners. They work really good on my upper lash line. They work really well in my waterline. There's very few eyeliners that work in my waterline. These work in my waterline. I just set the goal of using this 20 times for this project. I did have to sharpen it recently. I didn't make an initial progress line. We're not measuring progress as far as this pencil getting smaller, but that's exciting. Anytime I get to sharpen something, that's pretty exciting. And I've used this a total of 10 times so far. I am wearing it today for the 10th time. So I do still need to use this 10 more times before my goal is met on that, but I'm halfway there. All right. And because I met my goal on the perfume sample, I am gonna roll in another product for another prompt because we're just gonna keep going with this project. I can't stop it. So the new prompt that I'm rolling in is for the Cerridwen. I hope I'm saying that correctly. The prompt for the Cerridwen is a product you are scared to pan. For those of you that have read the series, my feelings on the Cerridwen have really changed from the first time I read the first book. The Cerridwen was like the scariest thing on earth. The thing nightmares are made of. The Cerridwen is the thing nightmares are made of. Scary, scary, scary. Now, over the series, the Cerridwen kind of becomes Feyre's bestie. And there's jokes all over TikTok about it, about like Cerridwen sitting down and like spilling the tea with Feyre. And it's so funny and it's so true because when Feyre needs to know something, she ends up trapping the Cerridwen. And at the end, he's just like, what do you want? Like, she traps him. And I don't know. It's just so funny. TikTok is so funny. If you're reading books, especially like any kind of popular book or romantasy, and you're not going on TikTok to see what jokes they're making about that book, you're really missing out on half the fun because TikTok is hysterical for making fun of the books that we are obsessively reading about. And it definitely helps put some things in perspective. But the Cerridwen is not as scary as he once was to me, but when you're first reading this book and first reading about the Cerridwen, he is the thing nightmares are made of. Anyways, a product you are scared to pan. I think this could be looked at from many different perspectives. For example, I think I'm scared to pan a black eyeshadow. Heck yeah, panning a black eyeshadow is scary as you know what. But I also feel like there is another viewpoint I have about scared to pan, and that is a huge amount of products that I own currently and love very much, and that once I pan, I cannot replace because they're not being made anymore. These products are older. All my makeup is older at this point, and I can't go to Walgreens and replace them like I would like to. And so for that reason, I do kind of find myself scared to pan them because once they're gone, they're gone. And that's a sad feeling. It's a scary feeling. For a little hoarder like me, that's a very scary feeling. I don't want to use up things that I can't replace. I want to be able to use them up and replace them and keep my collection intact. So that's the kind of mindset I have about this scared to pan prompt. And with that in mind, the product I chose is my Revlon Kissable Balm Stain in the shade Darling. This product was released when I think it was Vibrant Orchid or something Orchid was the Pantone color of the year, and everything came out orchid that year in the makeup world, and so this was one of those products. I love this so much. I've had this in projects before, and because of that, it is getting smaller. There's still a lot of product left. That much to be exact. That's a lot of product for a slow, pokey little project panner like me. But I can clearly see that the end is near. There's a knocking on death's door, and I'm not too comfortable with that. But it's also really, really old, and I'd rather use it up and enjoy every bit of it than have it go bad sitting in my office, too precious to use. So we're rolling this in. I'm gonna try and use it up. I have too many of everything in project pans right now, but I also feel like fall and winter are a good time to use and enjoy this product. Not that there's a specific season that this can't be worn. I wear this all year round, but I feel like fall and winter are extra good times to enjoy this kind of a purpley shade. So that's going in for the Azriel. Let's move on to book 2. Okay. Let me preface this by saying that book 2 of Acopae is my favorite book and most read book of all of the Acopae series. I have read the Acopae series straight through, I think, 3 times, which is really saying something for me because I very rarely reread books. But this series is really special, obviously. There's something kind of addictive. There's also like so much to take in that I felt like I had to reread it to like catch those pieces that I missed the first time around. And when I'm feeling nostalgic or just lonely for Acopae, I just reread it. But in addition to that, I've reread book 2 like a couple more times because book 2, in my opinion, book 2 and book 5 are the steamiest in my opinion. Book 5 is super steamy. If you're a Cassian fan, okay, I'm gonna get ahead of myself. Never mind. Cassian hasn't even been talked about in this project. Don't worry about Cassian. We're going to talk about Cassian in a little bit. But book 5 is really, really good. But book 2 ultimately is my favorite book of all the Acopae series, and I've read it so many times. There are actually 3 scenes in book 2 that are so spicy. I love it. I just love book 2. I just love book 2. It's my absolute favorite. I also feel like it's exciting because even if you're not into all the spice, a lot of new exciting characters are introduced in book 2 that are really relevant to the rest of the series, but weren't really talked about much in book 1. Also, book 2 is where Feyre's journey as a Fae begins. So, end of book 1. I'm going to say it right now. If you haven't read this series and you don't want to hear it, you might want to earmuff it and read the series and come back. But we are going to be talking about spoilers. I can't help it. But end of book 1 is where Feyre dies and is resurrected by the 7 high lords of the land. And as a result, she becomes Fae. And not only Fae, but the most kick-ass, powerful Fae ever known to the Fae world, which is just an ironic turn of events because they all viewed her as this weak little helpless human. But nope, Feyre is not a weak little helpless human anymore. It is so exciting. I love book 2. Anyways, this was an easy book to come up with prompts for because there were so many new characters and so many things happening. If you are on the Fantastic Ladies and you go to this project, you can see all of the prompts, but I am only starting with the first 7 prompts in this project, and then we'll add, I think there's a total of 15 prompts that you could choose from, but I'm only doing the first 7. So if you want to see what the other 8 prompts are, you can go to Facebook, to the Fantastic Ladies group, and see what all the prompts are for this project, but I'm going to start with the first 7. So again, I feel like I've never tried to say some of these words and names out loud, and even though I've been saying them one way in my head while I'm reading the books, I don't know if I'm saying them correctly, but if I mispronounce them, you know, I know you guys will be there to point it out. So let's go with prompt 1. That is Ianthe. Ianthe is a woman who's introduced at the very beginning of book 2, and she is Tamlin's like a spiritual person, not a priest, but like a spiritual guide like an advisor. She's like an advisor to Tamlin, and she's a backstabbing you know what. And so the product I chose in honor of her is a product from Too Faced because she smiles at your face. She is a two-faced person. She smiles at your face and she stabs you in the back when you turn around. And that is Too Faced. So I did get a comment in the Fantastic Ladies chat as I was posting the introduction to this project, like, what do you do? What should we pick if we don't own a product from Too Faced? And my suggestion was you could do like a split pan product, like a pan that has a blush and a highlighter or a blush and a bronzer. You get the idea. Any kind of a 2-pan product would work as well, but I have lots of products from Too Faced, so I'm going with that for the prompt. But Ianthe is a product from Too Faced. The Too Faced product I chose for Ianthe is a very old cream blush. Look at that. Isn't that cute? Oh my gosh. I think that is so cute. This is the shade Sweet Pea, and it is a pretty plummy pink. It's kind of sweaty. It's a sweaty plummy pink. Anyways, it's not brand new, and I have used it. It's actually quite old, but I have used it, just not for a very long time, and it looks like I only used it once, maybe twice. I do recall this is a pretty pigmented shade. Yep, pretty pigmented. I barely touched it, and that's quite a bit of color. But what I'm dealing with now, I'm still panning a cream blush that is way too light, almost non-existent on my skin color. And so I've been using deeper, darker, more pigmented blushes to mix in with the blush I'm panning to use it up and make a color that works better for me. So I figured now would be a perfect time to work on this. 20 uses seems a little too easy for me with a cream blush and a project that's going to go on. This project's starting on October 1st and it will end on April 30th. So I think 30 uses is still a realistic goal, but you know, a little bit more challenging than 20 uses. So I'm going to set the goal of using this 30 times. It smells fine, by the way. There's no like smell like it's gone off. I usually go by smell for my older products, if you don't know that. I don't really worry about how old they are. If it smells bad, it has to go. If it smells good, I'll keep using it. If it gives me an eye infection or causes a breakout, I'm done with it. But as long as I'm fine and it's not doing anything bad to my skin and it smells good, I keep on using it. So I'm gonna use this old girl 30 times, and I'm very excited because like I said, it's been a long time and I didn't use it a lot before. So 30 uses for that. All right, the next prompt is Hi Lady, and that is because during this series, Feyre is honored as the High Lady of the Night Court, which is very exciting because never has a female been elevated to the status of High Lady. There's only been High Lords. And so because Feyre's kick butt status as the ultimate Fae, and because she falls in love with Rhysand, Rhysand names her the High Lady of the Night Court. And so for High Lady, the prompt description is a product that looks like diamonds or has the word diamond in it. Her title as High Lady obviously comes with a little bit of a crown, but I have chosen the Fenty Beauty highlighter. This is called Diamond Bomb How Many Carats? How many carats? I feel like I said that weird. I have used this a few times. I think this was in Project 10 Uses a while ago after I bought it, but it's been a long time since I've used this, and I feel like this met the criteria for diamond. I do have quite a few products that I feel like could have fit this prompt, but this is the one I'm going with. I would like to use this 20 times. This is a glittery product. It does, it doesn't seem to have a ton of like color to it, but it is very shimmery and with a little bit of glittery in it. Glitter, and I don't know. Let me show you a swatch. Yeah, so like, I don't know if you can see, but there's no like color to it, but it's so pretty. It's almost like a highlighter topper, but I don't put it on top of other highlighters. I use it, it's a standalone product, but there's just no, I don't know, it's weird. Like almost every other highlighter I have has some kind of color to it. This doesn't really have any color. It just looks, it's really unique and very, very pretty. So pretty. Okay, number 3, the prompt is the Night Court. That is the location for the majority of book 2. And the prompt is a product you thought would be awful, but you actually love. While in book 1, while Feyre is living in the Spring Court, they dog out the Night Court like it is the worst place on earth. And they do describe it as a very scary place where nothing good can possibly happen. The truth is, it's actually a very romantic, beautiful place that they have worked very hard to keep a secret from the rest of the world. But everybody else thinks the Night Court is the most horrible place on earth. Turns out it is a beautiful heaven, but nobody knows that. So the prompt is a product you thought would be awful, but you actually love. The product I decided to go with that matches that prompt is a powder from Clean and Clear. I had this in a project, I think last year I worked on this. I hit pan on this last year. This is just like a mattifying shine control powder. I thought it would be awful because it's kind of blue. I don't know if you could tell, but this is a blue powder, and I thought that can't be good. Putting a blue powder on top of your skin cannot do good things. But it turns out it doesn't make me look like a light blue person. It's just a powder. And it doesn't do an amazing job with mattifying, but it does work, and it's not the biggest pan, and I've already hit pan. So I'd like to try and finish this off throughout this project and see if I could do that. I am still working on this product from Givenchy, so I'll be kind of working on both of these together for a little while, but yeah, I want to try and finish this off in this project. Prompt number 4 is Cerridwen and Nuala. Again, I don't know if I'm saying it right. That's how I've been saying it in my head all this time while reading the book. Cerridwen and Nuala are 2 women. I don't know exactly, I can't remember exactly what type of fae they are, but they're like little, after reading the books, what I've imagined in my head are these little like floaty beings that kind of work behind the scenes. They're I don't want to call them servants, but they work for Rhysand and they kind of do his bidding. They are initially introduced in book 1 while Feyre is trapped under the mountain, and they are the ones who like clean her while she is in captivity. So there are these scenes in book 1 where Feyre, I feel like I need to reread these books because I hope I'm not giving wrong information, but from what I recall, in book 1 there are these scenes where Feyre is trapped under the mountain where she needs to be presented for like the next challenge or whatever, and these 2 come in and they clean her and get her ready. There's also these scenes where they get her ready to like sneak off with Rhysand, and so they clean her for that and get her ready for that. But it turns out in book 2 that they are like, when they're not all trapped under the mountain and once they all go back home, Cerridwen and Nuala live in the Night Court with Rhysand and help him out around the house. And so the prompt that I chose for them is a body wash or a lotion. I don't have any body washes anymore, which is super exciting. I can't believe it. I do not own any body washes. I do have a couple in the upstairs bathroom that Ron has kind of claimed, but I personally don't have any body washes in the bathroom. So I had to go with a lotion. Because I'm already panning other lotions, I just went with a little mini. This is like a deluxe sample from Ulta Beauty in the scent coconut, but I would like to try and use this up for Cerridwen and Nuala. The next prompt is Morrigan, the Moor. Morrigan is one of Rhysand's crew. She's Rhysand's buddy, and she's always wearing a red dress. So for her, I chose something red. With all the difficulty I'm having panning a tiny itty bitty sample of a red lipstick, I had to choose carefully, but the product I ended up going with is this e.l.f. lip balm tint in Berry. And that is what it looks like in the bottle. Again, I've used this like once, but there's no real use on it. This smells really good. e.l.f. products smell really nice. It's kind of like a sweet smell. Obviously, this is not super pigmented. It's a tinted lip balm. So it's, even though it looks very red in the packaging, I feel like it's something I can totally manage wearing on a day-to-day basis without making a big deal out of it. Like, I could wear that to bed almost. So I kind of cheated. It looks red. It doesn't actually look red when I wear it. That's my perfect kind of red. I'm gonna set the goal of using this 20 times. I don't think I can realistically hit pan or finish it, but I can use it 20 times. I don't know if I'm saying this word correctly either. you guys let me know how you've been saying it, but I've been calling them the Illyrians. Does that sound right? The Illyrians are a like subgroup of Fae, and those are the Bat Boys, which are Rhysand, Cassian, and Azriel. These are 3 friends that grew up together and are like, Rhysand's the head of the Night Court, Azriel and Cassian are his like right-hand guys, and they go through additional training. They kind of grow up in a different culture compared to other Fae. They grow up with like having to prove themselves, and as a result, they are super strong and like even extra awesome Fae, and they have wings that are like bats, so they can fly. So because Illyrians can fly and have wings, I had to go with an eyeliner, because what else is going to give you a nice wing in your makeup? So the eyeliner that I chose for this prompt is another one of my Marc Jacobs highliners. This is another deluxe sample. I just finished working on one of these in my Labor of Love It project, I think, this summer. This came in the same set as that one. It was like a cherry themed set. So this one is called, I think it's called Cherry Amore. I think that's what it's called. The writing on this thing is so tiny, but this is definitely a lot more cherry-like. The last one I tried was called Cherry Grape, and it was like a taupey purple. This one is definitely more of a cherry. It's got a little bit of a brown to it for sure. There is a swatch of it right there. This has never been used before. That's my first time using this pencil, so it's basically brand new. Despite the fact that these are deluxe samples, there's quite a bit of product. I don't think I can realistically, that's not it, I'm still winding it up. I don't think I can realistically use this entire pencil with all the different eyeliner pencils I'm working on. But I would like to set a usage goal on this one too. That's how much product is in there. That's quite a bit. I think I'm gonna go ahead and go with 20 uses with this as well too. So 20 uses for this eyeliner. I do have some other eyeliners that I really need to focus in on, so I wanna enjoy this and I wanna use it, but I don't want it to distract me from the goals that I've set for some of the other eyeliners that I have in other projects. Okay, one more prompt to go over for this introduction, and that is for Azriel. Like I said, Azriel is one of Rhysand's right-hand men. He is an Illyrian? I guess that's how I'm saying it. And he's kind of, I think his like kind of claim to fame in the series, well, obviously he's smoking hot. I mean, that goes without saying. They're all smoking hot, and that helps. It makes the reading very enjoyable, but also he's very like quiet. He's not a big talker. He's always kind of like in the shadows, kind of sitting in the back. I think he can like kind of create his own shadows. So not only is he good at kind of like hiding in the corner where nobody even notices him, but he can kind of create his own shadow so that you don't even see him there unless he wants to be seen, which is a pretty cool feature. And so the prompt that I went with Azriel is a product that helps give you a perfect smoky eye, because he actually can like create shadows and smoke to make himself disappear in the background so that you don't even see him. He's kind of like Rhysand's spy. So yeah, a prompt that gives you a perfect smoky eye. When you first say smoky eye, the first thought that comes to my mind is a black eyeshadow. I've never worn a black smoky eye. Even when a black smoky eye was like a popular thing to do, I never really pulled it off. I think there are very few women that could pull off a black smoky eye. There are some out there. I don't feel like I am one of them. But when I want to go for a smokier look, my secret weapon is like a deep, dusty purple. Purple is kind of my go-to smoky eye color, and I found 2 single eyeshadows that I think would both be good candidates. So I figured I'd show you both and then I'd pick which one I'm gonna go with. I'm really torn right now. I wasn't able to choose, so let's choose right now. The first single eyeshadow is from the Sephora collection. It's called Outrageous Metallic Purple, and this is definitely like a taupier purple, like a purple gray mixed together. It's definitely purple, but it is more of a grayed out purple. I think this is perfect for a smoky eye. These, I have like 6 of these Sephora single shadows, and they're all super beautiful. Oh, okay, that swatch might have just won me over right there. That's so beautiful. The second single eyeshadow is from Mally Beauty, and this is called Sugar Plum, which the name alone might be enough to put me over the edge, because anything called Sugar Plum gets bonus points. But this is definitely more of a purpley purple, a little bit more vibrant, but definitely still meets the criteria for a smoky purple, I think. I think if you see them side by side, you can kind of see that the Mally is a little bit more vibrant. They're both so beautiful. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh, I'm dying. I do love purples. I do feel like if you have brown hair and brown eyes, purples are just extra. Oh my gosh, now I'm kind of leaning towards the Mally. See how it's got that little bit of more, I kind of like it. It's got a little shifting bluish purple in it. Now the Sephora one looks kind of flat. The Sephora one was so pretty until I swatched the Mally, and I'm out. Now I can't stop looking at the Mally. Can you see how much more dimension the Mally one has? Like here, they kind of both look the same, but then you go this way and it's like, bam, same, bam, same, bam. Oh my gosh. Okay, decision made. We're going with Mally. Should I have gone with Mally? You let me know. I'm so excited to work on this. I have a million single eyeshadows and I don't use them enough, but yay. I have too many eyeshadows and projects right now. You guys know that. I'm only going to set the goal of using this 20 times. I would love to set the goal of hitting pan. I just can't distract myself from everything else I'm working on that much. So I'm just going to try and use this 20 times. It's probably going to take me the entire project because I'm working on so many eyeshadows. But I have until, what do I have until? April 30th. I could totally use this 20 times by April 30th. All right, this is gonna be a very long video and I apologize in advance. I hope you guys got a drink and sat down and hung out with me for a while and enjoyed seeing all the products I'm gonna be working on. I'm very excited about all of these products. I don't feel like there's a bad pick in the bunch. There's nothing I'm not super excited to reach for. I mean, the red lipstick is always going to be a challenge, but I am very motivated to try and finish it. We'll see if I could do anything, but especially all the new products rolling in, I'm very excited about. That is going to be it for this introduction for book 2 and an update for book 1. That's going to kind of be how it goes for these. When I do an update, we'll just update both together. It would be great if I could finish book 1 before book 3 starts. That would be good. But this project runs from October 1st, which was a couple days ago, until April 30th, and you are all welcome to join. If you have read the Acopae series and this project speaks to you, please join, please hang out with us. It's a fun project. Thank you so much to everybody who's already committed to this project. I'm gonna leave your names right up here on the screen so that you guys can all check them out. Please go give these people a follow. Please go support them on Instagram or YouTube or wherever they're posting their updates for this project. And thank you so much to everybody who joined in with me on this project. I think I had like close to 20 the first time, and this for book 2, I think I only have about 10 people. The diehards, thank you so much. I really appreciate you all for doing this project with me. And if you'd like to join in, please hop on Facebook on the Fantastic Ladies group and sign up on the master list. And I think that's it for this introduction. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.